Hello and welcome to today's Subnet session coming to you live from our studios here in South Australia. My name is Ben and I'm really pleased to be bringing you today the first of two webinars we have come up in November focusing on Fortinet's SASE solution. So this webinar today is going to be providing an overview of Fortinet's SASE solution, and the second webinar we have scheduled for November will be focusing on more of a deep dive demo into the SASE solution. So here today to provide us with that overview, as I mentioned earlier, we have Sandeep from Fortinet. I'm just bringing Sandeep on the stage. And Sandeep, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.
It's really good to have this conversation for you today, and I know our team at Subnet have been looking forward to talking a little bit more about the SASE solution from Fortinet with our clients and our broader audience as well. Certainly, I can imagine from your perspective, Sandeep, your team must be having a lot of conversations with organisations right now about the new hybrid and remote working environment that people find themselves in, and just how we can actually ensure that all users, regardless of where they're located, can get secure access to company systems and infrastructure.
Absolutely, Ben. We are quite busy as an organization trying to protect users, especially everybody is now working hybrid, and I am as well right now as we speak. And securing those users while they're away from the typical branch environment or head office environment has been a topic of discussion all the way from the board level down to the IT admin level, right? So, absolutely, we are quite busy.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine so, and certainly, I think your comments there reflect the nature of cybersecurity these days and becoming more of like that governance level issue as well. So, I think this presentation today is going to be quite appealing to everybody who's watching today. Just a reminder to our regular viewers, of course, as you may know, we do have a Q&A panel on the Wistia windows. You can see on your right-hand side of the screen there. We will be taking questions at the end of this presentation, so we will allocate time for that as well. But in the meantime, Sandeep, I'm just going to bring your presentation up onto the stage as well. And I think we're all good to go. Sandeep, I'll hand the microphone over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. So off we go. Look, I'm here to talk about FortiSASE, which is basically the Fortinet's secure access service edge architecture slash platform. And I'll spend some time actually going through what does SASE mean, because SASE can be quite confusing in a number of ways when we have our conversations with whether it is a person from the networking side or a person from security side in the IT teams within organizations. They interpret SASE differently, so it's quite important to go through that. But here we go. So look, SASE really is a framework that was brought in by Gartner in 2019, and it basically was brought in to secure users no matter where they are efficiently and consistently. And For that, there was a need for a framework where that user can be followed as close as possible to where the applications are and where the user is. But it's very simple to say that, but it is quite a framework to put together. It requires a whole global architecture to put that together. And companies like Fortinet have gone ahead and built that global architecture. So to start with, fundamentally, SASE is built on top of it's this cloud-based service which is built on top of existing networks, and they can be SD-WAN or they can be just wide area networks in general. But it is most efficient when a SD-WAN network is turned on, because SD-WAN brings the performance and the reliability within the organization, and you can actually control that network as to your business needs. Now, when that WAN network is combined or integrated with something called Secure Service Edge, which are these services which can be turned on in the cloud as a SaaS service, you can start protecting all that traffic all the way from the user down to the network. And that combined brings that unified management called unified SASE, or SASE in general. Fortinet has thought about SASE very religiously, following the Gartner footprint, but at the same time, gone ahead and combined two very important aspects to it. Number one is to provide that zero trust threat intelligence, and to provide that intelligence coming from our FortiGuard labs, which are our SOC globally turned on in all the wherever your Fortinet services are turned on. But at the same time, Fortinet has utilized the same OS which has been around for more than 20 years, to build this whole unified SASE platform. And it all runs on that single unified management layer, right? Now, talking about unified SASE, as I said, it can start from basic secure SD-WAN. So if you think about SD-WAN, Fortinet has been around in providing SD-WAN networks to a number of organizations, and what it really means is giving you that performance and reliability where your branches are and where your data centers are, or private cloud or public cloud is. And however, when a user is coming into the branch or going into a head office, they can access these applications sitting in a public cloud or a private cloud today. And they can get a really good experience because it can be steered in a way that way. But when things change are when that user is moving away from the branches. So what if that user is working from home or somewhere else, or a small little temporary branch which has been put together because that's what the business need is? That's where FortiSASE comes in. It's that cloud-based service which will then act like literally like another branch in that SD-WAN network. And think about now the whole secure SD-WAN network providing you a cloud-based security service across the whole network for all the users, no matter where they are, whether they're sitting in the branch or they're away from the branch or they're in a coffee shop or airport. And this service can actually then further give you things like secured internet access and secured SaaS access. So secured SaaS access and internet access were predominantly provided when you had example a firewall sitting in a private cloud or sitting in a public cloud. You would then actually access a SaaS application first, going all the way to the private cloud and then out. With FortiSASE, now you have a distributed architecture. So now you can actually enable all of that from wherever you are. And thinking about FortiSASE, it is just not providing that connectivity. It is actually providing the threat intelligence, which is AI powered from FortiGuard Labs. Now, there are a lot of other vendors who do similar kind of threat intelligence. In case of Fortinet, it is all provided by Fortinet's own threat intelligence, and it is fully AI powered. What does that mean? It's a combination of human and AI, which gives them zero-day threat intelligence and reduces a fair bit of your vulnerabilities and threat, no matter where they are. It also has this consistent control. So no matter where your existing networks is and where your new users are, you can now manage all of them through one place called FortiManager, or it's the same FortiManager that has been around for more than 20 years, and we have now provided that, and FortiSASE is a part of it. So think about all the controls where you're putting all the policies for the users on the same pane of glass. It also provides you the consistent visibility. So visibility where the user is, where the application is, where the network is, how is it behaving, is it healthy, is it secure? And lastly, it also provides you the monitoring of the whole network. So it can go all the way from, example, I'm on this webinar, and if there's anything going on my machine, it will pick it up and give you that visibility of why, if there is a performance issue or if there is a security issue, why is it the case? On top of it, if you think about it, FortiSASE actually goes through all of these services where it provides you secure internet access, secure SaaS access, threat detection, application control, and a universal ZTNA, which is zero trust network access, within that SD-WAN fabric, which you can now monitor all through one pane of glass. And talking about ZTNA, Fortinet does ZTNA in a very, very unique way. Let me explain you. What that really means is, as I said earlier, if you thought about your existing SD-WAN network, it is that network which connects to all your, branches or anything on campus, going through to connecting to a SaaS, public cloud, or a private cloud. But when you start thinking about FortiSASE, that unique endpoint can be now managed through one security, one zero trust edge, um, through FortiSASE, right? And it also has the same operating system. Therefore, it can all be seen as a single development effort. So for us, it is a single platform which we manage. All major and minor releases are managed through the same OS. And unique thing is that FortiSASE now, natively integrates with the SD-WAN on the same OS and provides you that single unified policy no matter where you are, because it actually creates a single zero trust posture database. So what does that really mean is when I'm sitting and doing this webinar with you, my machine right now is turned on with FortiClient, which has a zero trust database. Now, if I'm going from home to the office, that same database is actually being distributed across all the Fortinet environment, all the wherever the FortiOS is, this database is available and synced in real time. So my security policies are at all time following me. That's quite unique to Fortinet, and that's how we work as a. That's why we call it unified SASE, and it is scalable. How is it scalable? It actually spreads across all the global locations. We have more than 150 POPs. And the good news is in Australia and New Zealand, we've recently come up with three new POPs as well. We are leveraging the public clouds and Fortinet's own locations in order to be as scalable and as robust as possible. And we've built this global architecture all the way. And if you look at it in Australia itself, we have POPs, points of presence in Sydney, Melbourne. We have one in Perth, and we have one in Auckland as well. So if you're a company spread across ANZ, you have that full presence of wherever the architecture goes. Um, with that, I'm gonna just stop and just explain you what does really the 40 SASE really include, right? When it comes to inclusions, it actually includes capabilities like secure web gateway, which is SWG, firewall as a service, right? Which is basically gives you those IPS IDS features, CASB, which is the secure SaaS access, DLP, data protection, digital experience monitoring, right? Remote browser isolation, and universal ZTNA. All of these capabilities are turned on for all the users when you subscribe to, Fortinet's FortiSASE, platform. And with that, it I just want to remind you again, the unified SASE platform is that platform which has got one unified management plane with the unified data lake to provide you that AI powered threat intelligence, no matter where your users are, no matter where your applications are, whether they're in the cloud, in the SaaS, on-prem or otherwise. And that's the power of FortiSASE. And with that, I will just stop it there and open for any questions.
Cool. Thank you very much, Sandeep. And look, really a detailed overview there about the SASE solution from Fortinet. Just a reminder for those who are watching, who may have joined us a little bit later, there is the Q&A panel on the right-hand side there. If you do have any questions, then please feel free to submit them now. Um, Sandeep, just going back to what you were saying earlier, though, I think what I'm seeing from the presentation there is that really SASE is one of those solutions that's almost like an emerging solution, as you said, when Gartner first, I guess, coined the idea to reflect the need for a solution for that new hybrid and remote workforce, which is becoming quite common these days. But I think the key differentiator that you mentioned there is really that. This SASE solution that Fortinet offering is obviously underpinned by the decades of experience Fortinet has with the AI threat detection labs, SD-WAN capability, the other infrastructure they have available as well. So it's like that really solid foundation with the, I guess, new additions to actually accommodate that hybrid and remote workforce.
Absolutely. Yes, Ben, you got it. Exactly that. So those are the three main pillars, which is building the 40 SASE under that framework of unified SASE. And I don't only want to stop over there when it comes to Fortinet, because Fortinet extends its capability beyond just the unified SASE. If you have known Fortinet, or if people have known Fortinet, we have got solutions and platforms which are on the same OS, built for OT and for SOC as a service, and for things like endpoint protection and EDR, XDR. Think of all of that coming together, building that first line of defense. But 40 SASE then extends those capability throughout a global architecture, right? So you're not just limited to just this particular solution, but you're actually expanding the horizon of your complete network and security architecture with Fortinet. Unified SASE gives you that first line of defense and actually collaborates network and security to work together. It actually gives chance for a lot of security and network teams to work together to build that one single policy, which normally is done in silos from our experience, because they both network and security have been built over time with different, outcomes in mind. So, example, we when COVID happened, we were all supposed to, just get remote access because we had to work from home, right? So we were, all of our VPNs were turned on. We had one single tunnel, which gave us a huge access to all of our environment, no matter which application is. It actually started posing a little bit of threat as well, because it could open up and do some lateral movement for bad actors at the same time. Um, on the other hand, there was no visibility of what really is going on with the user. Are they actually browsing the internet and downloading some malware while they're working on a very important application? So things like that is what SASE Day One tries to solve, right? You can verify the user, you can verify the machine that they are coming from, you can verify the network they're about to reach, you can verify the actual application that they have access to or not, or they're supposed to or not, right? So all those capabilities actually come together in one single framework.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Sandeep. Actually, we did have a question come in from one of our audience members here. I'm just going to bring
Yeah.
this up onto the stage right now. So I'm not too sure if we actually have covered off on this one directly, but Jonathan was asking about Fortinet SASE solution and how it compares with the SSE offering from Microsoft. Any insights you can provide on that one, Sandeep?
Look, Microsoft has done a brilliant job in putting the zero trust architecture um, within the Microsoft platform for Microsoft applications, and built for Microsoft environment pretty much. Um, the SSC portion of Microsoft is, to my knowledge, still a work in progress. We see some conversations where Microsoft has started putting some very basic secure web gateway features. Um, it has some point products like KSV, has quite a bit of data protection out there through something called Microsoft Purview, and classification. But when it comes to SSC, comparably, Fortinet has got that fabric with the SD-WAN come together, and on its own, quite mature. I mean, if you look at the Gartner, survey or the Gartner quadrant, latest one, we are showing up as a leader on the right-hand side corner. So we don't see Microsoft in that framework or in that particular quadrant as much at the moment. So that's just my 2 cents commenting on someone else. But again, good luck to Microsoft.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you, Sandeep. I appreciate your response there as well. And Jonathan, thank you for the question as well. I'm just going to remove that from the stage for the time being. Just checking to see if there are any other questions that have come through, but not at this stage. Given we're running on time, I might just take the opportunity to again thank you, Sandeep, for that really good overview and within the context of what we're calling at Subnet our SASE month. So again, the next webinar that we've got scheduled on the 19th of November essentially builds on what Sandeep has covered today. And I think several of you watching have already signed up for that webinar on the 19th of November. But in that session, we're actually going to be doing the deep dive demo into Fortinet SASE solution and really give it the time it deserves to provide that detail into how it actually works behind the scenes. So if you haven't already registered for that one, then please you'll find it on our Subnets events page as well. I'm just seeing I don't think we have any more questions coming in as yet, but of course if you do happen to think of anything, then please feel free to reach out to us as well. And as a reminder, everyone who has registered for the webinar or is watching this webinar now will receive a full recording of Sandeep's presentation shortly after this session has concluded as well. Sandeep, I'm happy to wrap it up there. Again, thank you very much for your time and really setting the stage for the SASE discussion that we're having with our clients and our broader audience this month. And by all means, we look forward to welcoming Fortinet again on the 19th of November as we go into that deep dive into that SASE solution.
Thank you so much for having me here, Ben. And yes, I'm also looking forward to that demonstration. All the architectures that are shown were on slides, but it is amazing when you see them in action and how we do these things in the back end. So looking forward to that one. Thanks
Fantastic.
again.
Yeah, thank you once again for your time, Sandeep. And thank you, everyone, for your attendance and for your interaction today. It's been fantastic and look forward to seeing you again all soon. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Cheers.